I honestly just couldn't give two shits about dating anymore. I don't see the point in it. No one can be bothered to even do bare minimum these days. Or, not even think to not go out on the piss the night before a date and get so hungover that they cancel an hour and a half before the date. And then don't tell me then that, you really want to see me, you'd really love to see me, give you another chance. How about no? If you really wanted to see me, you wouldn't have got so fucked up the night before that you couldn't even make it out of your stinking bed to come on a coffee date. Not even that extreme. You don't even have a car, so you were going to walk 10 minutes down the road from your house. I've made it so easy for you. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
They want to date Chads, but they can't handle the Chad lifestyle. Today, we bring you a high-value man who says no to women in their 30s. But before we begin, give us a like and leave your comment below. Let's get started.
Dating in your 30s is absolutely wild. It feels that there are only two types of men. Either someone that has been married before, has multiple children, or the guy that is perpetually single, has a mattress on his floor, and contents of his fridge includes pickles and a Coors Light. Why is there a no in between? On one hand, you have the guy that has been married before, has children. It triggers in your mind, okay, well, he's capable of being stable. He's able to be responsible for a family. Then on the other hand, there's the woman that he procreated with that's going to hate you. Not because you did anything wrong, just because you simply exist. Or there's the guy with the mattress on his floor. Why is your mattress on the floor? Says things like, I'm just seeing where life takes me. We're in our 30s. If you don't have any direction for life, I don't want to be part of your journey.
Dating in your 30s becomes literally just like looking for a breeding partner. Like, it's like you're going to a sperm donor bank and like lining up the genetics and just like choosing who you want to be your future children's dad. Like, you've already been through all the cute stages in your 20s, like saying I love you and going on your like first dates and trips together. Like, I don't want to meet your parents. Like, I do, but like, it's not cute anymore. Like, and then like waiting for the milestones and like falling and like seeing what happens. Like, no, are our kids gonna turn out cute? Are they gonna be smart, athletic? Like, are we gonna like make a good couple and like last forever? And like, then I'll get to know you and like, hopefully, we get along great and like it lasts forever. But first things first, like, again, it's just not cute anymore. Like, but you never settle. You never settle. It's not like before where you go in blindly.
Who are these women dating? This idea that a man is automatically a loser at 30 just isn't common today. Most men nowadays have a purpose, a direction in life, take care of themselves both mentally and physically, and have a job. Today, being a loser as a man literally means falling into addiction or becoming lazy. But the reality is that many men are moving forward, choosing celibacy, and ignoring these women who, despite getting older, still believe they're the prize.
So disillusioned with this whole dating app scenario. Excuse me. Are there anyone legit left out there? Because, you start chatting to people and then the messages just can continue. The questions never asked, like, do you want to catch up? Do you want to meet? Do you want to have a coffee? Do you want to go out for dinner? Whatever it is. What are you doing on the apps then? If you're not actually if you like someone, you want to keep talking to them, why aren't you asking them out? Is it because you're in a relationship and you just need this like extra validation? Is it because that's not really you? You're pretending to be someone you're not. You're chatting to women because you're lonely. What is it? And I know all of those things could be true. It just really upsets me that like guys get the shits because you won't keep talking to them, but yet they won't ask you out. So what are we doing here then? Right? It's either that or they're after casual sex. That's what they're after. And I'm not about that. I don't do casual sex. I'm smexual. I'd love to have that experience, but I'm not about to do that with some random I just met on a dating app. Don't be so gross. And I have self-respect, boundaries, standards these days. I'm just not prepared to compromise on that. Sometimes that's really hard, to be honest. Sometimes it is. The guy that approached me at the gym a couple of weeks ago, gorgeous guy, introduces himself, confident, attractive. We chatted a little bit. I got the feeling that he was just after one thing, and I didn't continue the conversation, or he didn't reach out to me either after he alluded to coming over, and I said no to that. Then I didn't really hear from him, and I didn't think anything. And then he messages me a week or two later. We have a casual coffee catch up and had a great conversation. He was a lovely guy. We had a lot in common, and I liked him. And again, he suggested coming over, and I know what he wants, right? But I'm just not going to compromise on my standards. It's not worth the heartache. It's not worth the heartache. To have fleeting, you might have great smegs, have a fun time, what have you, but it's not worth the heartache that it gives me afterwards, because women, it's biological. We bond and we attach through physical intimacy. It's just not worth the heartache for that fleeting moment. And I've had to learn that the hard way, guys. I've had to learn that the hard way, that it's just not worth it. My peace is worth more. My integrity is worth more. My self-respect is worth more. The way that I feel about myself is worth more. Why put myself in the position to have my heart broken by someone that I know doesn't want to be in a relationship with me? So sometimes it's really hard to hold your ground and to maintain your standards, but trust me, it's worth it. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to go for a walk now along the break wall and take you with me on a live if you want to join.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Dating apps are not for women over 35. Very few men are looking for women that age. This frustrates women who waited too long and raised their standards. In the end, they realize they have fewer options than before. The guys who pursue them usually just want something casual. That's why a woman should look for a husband while she's in her 20s, because once she gets past that age, very few are able to lock down a man.
Women.
Dating a 30-year-old man is really confusing. On the one hand, when they're super forward with you and you've been on 2 dates and they're already like, oh my god, I see a future with you and I'm gonna miss you. You're like, okay, are you rushing because you're in your 30s and you want to get married and have kids? Or are we dealing with a love bomber? I just don't know. Are you being forward because you know what you want? Which then, yeah, that's hot. Or is this part of your play? Still figuring it out.
The hardest part of dating, and I'm gonna say what you are not expecting, but the hardest part of dating for me is people's lack of care for themselves. I find a lot of men that try to approach me are men that have nice cars, nice watches. They go out all the time to these fancy dinners, but that's the problem. They're out 2 to 4 times a week. They're drinking every time they're out. I don't think they're drinking enough water. They're not on a routine, as in working out, taking care of their one and only vessel. I see your priorities. Alcohol is really bad for us, extremely bad. And I know I want my man to last a really long time. And I know that people have all these other icks in dating, but I think my biggest one is lack of a routine and lack of care when it comes to taking care of their bodies. And I know that maybe that's when a woman comes in and stuff like that, but generally you should already have something in place, and it's going to get better with a woman for sure. It's absolutely going to get better, but you should already have a workout in place. You should already be disciplined enough to not be out 2 to 4 times a week. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm networking or I'm entertaining clients. You could say no. You should go take care of your mental health and your health by not working after work. But yeah, I think that's where I'm at. And yeah, it's not how they come at me or this. I think about paying mind to these people, and then I'm always reminded they're out 2 to 4 times a week. Why would I talk to a man that doesn't put that much love and intention into his only vessel? As someone who's learned grief at a young age, I want you to stick around. I want people to be there with me and feel good during that time. And what we do now in our 30s is reflecting how we're going to feel in 10 years. And you should be really conscious of that at this age. And if you're not the one for me.
Gotcha, bitch.
Nobody asks them the most basic question: what do you bring to the table? They show up with a full list of requirements, but the contract only has obligations on one side. They want the man who will rescue them, pay for everything, make the first move, and stick around. The provider. And they believe that simply having standards means they've already done their part. The man who's worth what they're asking for can read that from the very first message. That's why he plays the game. Not because he's a bad guy, but because he understands exactly what she's looking for: a sponsor. And if the deal doesn't benefit him, he'll have some fun and move on, because he has options. The question almost none of them ask themselves is, what is your actual value in that man's life? Not your standards, your value. And if you have to think about it for too long, you already have your answer.
I have a theory as to why dating in your 30s as a woman is so difficult. And again, this is my theory. It's backed by the very small data points that I've collected throughout my dating tenure so far. And I have this theory that men in their 30s, a lot of them, are not serious about dating. And that is because when they're in their 20s, they're grinding, building a life, building a career. And that might be the time when they are interested in marriage, where they're able to come together with somebody else that is building and grinding with the goal to build and grind together. But then the men that are left over get to their 30s and the building and grinding is starting to pay off and they have money. And now they are single in their 30s with money. That is a completely different lifestyle that a lot of men, I don't think, want to get rid of. And so I think they kind of come into this new world of being a successful guy in their 30s, not wanting to let that slip away. So they're on the dating apps using them as like a tool just to meet women for the fun of it and whatever they can get out of it, without the actual intention of being serious and actually wanting to settle down. Now, as they start to get towards the very tail end of their 30s and teeter over into their 40s, that's when they start to get worn out on this practice that they've started in their 30s, and then they start to become serious and want to settle down. Obviously, I'm way overgeneralizing and lumping a lot of people into a couple categories, but I've gone on dates with men who have said, I didn't even think I wanted to get married until I hit 39 or 40. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, shoot, I should probably try and meet somebody now. And meanwhile, I'm dating guys who are 36, 37, and they're like, not serious, not serious, not serious. They aren't serious about following up on dates, or they're just, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious. And so this sort of pattern is just what's being demonstrated to me, like I said, in my dating tenure. So I think that's why dating as a woman in your 30s is such a challenge, is we just have a bunch of men out here running around who are successful and making money and not ready to tie themselves down right now. I think as women, we need to either drop our age range way down, or we need to kind of really look for those serious guys, 39, 40, etc., who haven't been married yet. Just my theory.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
A man who decides to settle down at 40 because he's afraid of being alone isn't choosing a family. He's buying companionship. And there's a huge difference between the two. A marriage built on panic doesn't create good fathers. It creates men who, at 45, wonder why they married the person they married. And here's the other problem she doesn't see. Her solution is for women to pursue those 39 or 40-year-old men. But who are the women available at that age? The ones nobody chose before. Because a woman with real value doesn't reach the wall alone. The wall doesn't forgive.
I know I cannot be the only female struggling to date in 2023. Like, all of the 2000s, I feel like. But in general, like, right now, I feel like it is the worst. Like, I have no desire to want to talk to you guys or deal with you guys on any level, because you're all very disappointing. I don't know if you weren't loved properly or weren't loved enough, whatever the case may be, but when it comes down to it, you're just downright disrespectful. And You don't know how to treat women. You choose yourselves over everything in every circumstance. Even when you see that we've gone out of our way for you and done certain things for you, you continue to choose you, which is good, and you should choose you to a degree. But if you're not giving as much as you're taking, then it's a fucking problem. It's a problem. And we don't need you any longer to make babies. We don't need you to provide anymore, which even though you should, but we don't need you to do that because we are very capable of doing that on our own. And you can see that statistically because we do, and we have been for many years. And it's just saddening to see that we're struggling out here. We're struggling. And quite honestly, we don't need you for anything. We can take care of ourselves in every aspect. And then when I say every, I mean every. There are things in place for everything. So unfortunately for you guys, like, you need to be loving, you need to be caring, you need to be more genuine than you've ever been before, because we don't actually need you for not one thing, not one thing. So it's important that you're giving us that physical connection that we need, because if you're not doing that, we can find other ways to get everything else accomplished. So God help us. I don't know what's going to happen, but this has been one hell of a year. One hell of a year. And I am over it. And I'm really ready just to have a full-on grown women circle where we can just enjoy our company of each other, travel, go away, do things, and just do what we need to do. Because y'all ain't it.
If that was in 2023, imagine how things are going for her in 2026. As I said, dating apps don't work well for women over 35. Men aren't looking for those women, and the older men who would supposedly be their target audience don't want relationships. They're happy being single. That's why she's complaining and comparing everything to her younger years. Back then, almost any man was willing to take her out and pay for everything. But now, in the age of so-called equality, men don't treat her the way they used to. They treat her the way she asked to be treated. And that's what bothers her. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Do you think dating apps work differently for men and women, or is the problem basically the same on both sides? At what age do you think a man should seriously start looking for a relationship so he doesn't fall into the trap of choosing out of fear rather than conviction? If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.